Okay, so this is part 2. There we go with my theatrics. So in that 8-minute video, literally in 8 minutes, I was able to do all of this. And then, okay, so maybe like 3 minutes after, I just went through and it took me 3 minutes to give them 2 grades already. So I made the scale for my puzzles and I went ahead and put puzzle grades. And while I put the puzzle grades, I went ahead and put teacher table. Teacher table is usually pretty simple. They usually get all of the points, so you can knock that out as you do that. So now I'm going to show you my process for the independent practice. And so this is the scale for my puzzles. And it has nothing to do with the scale for my independent practice. So I'm just going to set this to the side. I got a new piece of paper. And now I'm going to go through my independent practice and write. So 12. This person didn't write any. Okay, so she got to 10. Wowzer. 6, 11, 12, 6, 11, 12, 2. What? Macrimony. 8, 8, 10, 6. Sir, he did not put a number. 12. 12. 12. Okay, so now, I'm not done writing numbers. 8, 12. Okay, so now I've created a new scale based on my independent practice because my puzzles had 16, whereas my independent, the highest they could have gotten was 12. That was the only number on the thing. I will tell you, it will make your life tremendously easier. I did not do this last year, and I've noticed a major difference this year with easiness. I collect their papers in alphabetical order. So I stand at the front and I say, okay, I look at my roster. I have my roster. I say, okay, Ariana, bring me your 2 papers. Ariana comes and brings me whatever paper she has, and I put them in piles, just like this. So then I put the next person. Selena, bring me both of your papers. Boom, boom, she brings me both of her papers. Easy peasy as pie. So then, looking at this, I've put just the range of numbers. So I'm going to say, okay, my top number is 12. That's my 100 mark, purely based on participation. Usually I do grade the independent practice separately. So like I'll sit and I'll actually take this for a grade. That is a totally separate grade than what they get on their rubric. This rubric is solely based on participation, which is super helpful with those classes that just are distracted and they need a reality check. Last year, the first rubric I did, I had probably 6 kids in one class and 8 kids in another class fail the participation. It was a good wake-up call. I mean, it showed them I'm not playing around. So back to business. So 11, we'll say, is a 97. We'll do points of 3 because it's a smaller scale of numbers, so let's make them worth a little bit more. 10 is a 94. 9 would be equivalent to a 91. 8 would be equivalent to an 80. 89, right? I'm telling you, my brain's, yeah. Okay, 88. I was wrong. Okay, so then we're gonna go 7 is an 85, 6 is an 82, 7 is a 79. Bum, 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 bum. Ooh, okay, and then 6 is a 76. Oh gosh, I gotta keep going. Okay, 5 is a 73. 4 is a 70. 3 is a 67. 2, 64. So there we go. That's about accurate, I would say. Then we're going to go and we're going to come over here and say that. So we've turned our scale into a 100 scale based on, out of 100 points. Okay, realistically. Now I'm going to turn my 100 point scale to my rubric scale. It's easier for me to turn this into this before I turn it to my rubric. If you are insanely talented and can turn this into your rubric scale immediately, go for it. So this is just how I do it. So that's a 25, and let's do 2 points down a piece because, like I said, since it's 12, let's make it worth a little bit more. 2 points down is a 23, 21, 19, 17, 15, 13, 11, 9, 7, 5, 3, and 1 point. So whenever I'm going through my rubric, this is what I'm going to do now. This is my grading scale. So on my puzzles, because there were more questions, I just went 1 point a piece. This time, because there was less questions, I wanted to up the ante a little bit more, make them 2 apiece. So there's no right or wrong. There's no hard and fast. It's just based on what you think. So because I have my papers in alphabetical order, I also have my guided rubrics in alphabetical order, because then I can literally just take the paper, write the grade, and call it a day. So Ariana had all 12. Let's check my independent. You can't see. She's not on my independent. She was on task. So she's going to earn her 25 points. And right now, I'm not even looking at these are correct. I'm just saying she was on task. Looking at Selena's, Selena did 9. She didn't write it on her paper. She did 9 of them. I'm going to come to my scale, say, okay, if she did 9, she gets 19 points. So I'm going to pull Selena's up here, put 19 points. Then I'm going to flip hers over. Ayana did 6. I didn't have a puzzle piece for her. I think it was a no-name. So Ayana only did 6 of them. So I'm going to come over here to my scale. Whoa, I wrote 6 twice. I wrote 7 twice also. Okay. I told you my brain's not working. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. LOL. Okay. So looking at the corrected scale, Ayana did 6. She gets 13 points out of the 25 points. Then I'm going to flip her paper and move on to Cameron. Cameron did 11. So I'm going to come up here. He was on task. Oh, actually, looking back, I did not even pay attention. Ayana was not on task. I wrote her down ×2. So really, let's get some white out. And we're going to white it out. Oh my gosh, that's a glop. Okay. Wow, let's switch whiteouts. Sorry if this is boring you. Okay, so we're going to white it out so she can't even ever see she got the full 13 points. Okay, because on the rubric, she scored 13 points because she got 6 done. However, since I wrote her name down ×2, she was not on task at all. Very disappointing. I'm going to give her 9 points right there. Oh, also, I remembered at puzzles, she didn't get to go to puzzles. She was so off task, I pulled her to work separately. She wouldn't do that work. So we are going to give her 0 out of the 25 points. In case you're wondering, that's not harsh. I did call her mom and let her know that she was refusing to work. So I told her she failed. Moving back to Cameron. So Cameron's independent practice, he got 11 done. Looking at my rubric, 11, he gets 23 points. So once I'm just going to go through, I'm at 9 minutes, so I'm going to stop because it runs out at 10. Basically, with our technology, it's at your discretion. You can do solely based on your observations. So my Get More Math, these kids were off task. Otherwise, I would maybe pull up the program, whether it's Imagine Math, Get More Math, see how many they've done, and base it off of what you think. Then once I have this, I add all of these up, divide it out of 100, that's their grade. Cameron's a fairly hard worker. He would probably deserve a higher grade that he's going to get, probably in the 90s, maybe high 80s. So that is my process.